I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Marriage has always been shaped by society. Marriage was about preserving lineage, inheritance, day-to-day survival, and social acceptance. Nowadays, people marry for love, which would have been a laughable concept in the past. Traditionally, people had a night of pleasure together and they were automatically married. However, the church didn't want that to be the basis of marriage. So the church decreed that a wedding had to occur before the eyes of God, and the bride had to give the groom's family money to take him as her own. The money was known as dowry. Since dowry came from the parents, it gave them absolute power over who their child could marry. During the 1500s, in places like Germany, one could get jailed or banished for marrying someone their parents did not like or approve. Then the Industrial Revolution happened, and since men could now make their own money, they rejected arranged marriage and selected their life partners. In 1765, Lord William Blackstone declared, and I quote, "A man cannot grant anything to his wife, for a grant would be to suppose her separate existence." End of quote. The statement meant that men could beat and their wives. Even in America in the 1950s, most states had head and master laws. This law stated that the husband was the final say on where the family would live, whether the wife could borrow money or work outside the home. However, as women gained the power and the right to support themselves, the fight to eradicate the old head and master laws began. By the 1960s, you could marry from any race.
There are plenty of marriages about in which European men take local wives, but it seems to work very seldom the other way. European women marrying local men. Why is this?
Well, previously I think there was just absolutely no social mixing between Australian girls and New Guineans and Papuan men.
And if you were not feeling the love and affection anymore, you could get divorced for a small fee, of course. In the 70s, wives gained independence from their husbands, and in some states, same-sex marriage was legalized in the early 2000s. Now let's talk about marriage in the 21st century. Getting married in the 21st century is very simple. For example, you could go to a courthouse with proof of age and $50 for a marriage license, and you're both set for life, or for as long as your marriage could hold. Maybe you want to go for a more expensive route, planning for months for a Disney-inspired wedding where it was estimated in 2019 most weddings cost an average of $28,000. If you have deep pockets, the cost can get even higher, as high as $45.8 million like Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, or $18 million like Kim and Kanye's wedding. After you both exchange your vows, the judge or the presiding man of God pronounces you man and wife. And as the congregation celebrates and sheds tears of joy, the judges and the lawyers see dollar signs and inventory. After the Will and Jada incidences, why didn't Will just divorce her? Even after Jada manipulated their daughter Willow Smith to think Tupac was a better husband for her compared to Will by writing a letter to the late rapper telling him to come back and make her mom happy, why didn't Will just move on? 2. Will is what we call the 1 percentile in the financial world, where he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And if you look at his fellow 1 percenters, they didn't get the best luck during divorce. Take Chris Rock, who got divorced in 2016. His divorce took 2 years to complete, and his wife wanted a substantial amount of Chris's $70 million net worth. In the end, it is unknown how much she got, but it left the comedian in financial ruin. I estimate that if she takes 25% of the 70 million, she would have walked away with about $17.5 million. Even billionaires don't have it easy when it comes to divorce. After Mackenzie Scott divorced her husband Jeff Bezos, she walked away with $53 million, making her the 6th richest woman on earth. You see, divorce is a booming market, especially in America. Statistics show that it's one divorce every 30 seconds. With New York being the hotbed, meet Brian Solomon, a divorce lawyer based in Long Island who has amassed a small fortune through divorce cases. Supercars, philanthropy, hot blondes, and mansions, all that Brian acquired from his divorce cases, where people like Brian know that 50% of marriages don't last.
New York divorce industry, that's billions of dollars. That's thousands of millions, billions with a B.
Back to our hypothetical marriage, shall we? Let's say the man commits infidelity, or the woman you married sees the zeros in your bank account and wants to cash in on her investments by saying she's not happy and she wants a divorce. Let the fight begin. It doesn't matter how quickly you got married or how long you've been married. Divorce can last for months, years, or even decades. Take a look at this clip from this documentary called Divorce Court.
Married only 4 months, and my divorce has lasted now over 6.5 years.
I'll be close to 8 years.
The financial setup of marriage is the reason for the long wait. When you file for a divorce, money from both partners shows the resources available for the attorney to spend. So the first thing they do is find out what both of you are worth.
First thing that lawyers do is find out exactly how much money you and your spouse have.
After the financial audit, they pin you both against each other to make room for who will walk away with how much money, or more money. In lawyers' language, they tell you they're going to get you what you're worth.
Many lawyers encourage their clients to be as aggressive as possible, tempting them with winning more money.
Stage 2. During Stage 2, you will be encouraged to say anything to gain the upper hand, from incriminating photographs to false accusations that will take weeks or months to clarify. If you choose not to contest these accusations, you might lose the case and end up with nothing. Your cars, your money, your house, and your kids will all disappear.
It creates a battleground in which each side hurls the harshest accusations they can come up with because they're desperate to win.
Well, I'm no lawyer, but the only way to fight this is through the paperwork. You need to pin the other party down with as many accusations and paperwork until they can't handle it or run out of money to fight back. Remember, no matter how much slander the attorney throws at you, they can't get sued or get held in contempt. So they can't lose in this situation.
A lawyer can say or do anything no matter how false or cruel, and they cannot be sued for malicious prosecution or excessive litigation.
Stage 3. So you're not Will Smith or Chris Rock, nor do you have Chris Rock or Will Smith money. So how do you pay for this all as a working class American? It only gets ugly from here. You can take a loan if you have good credit, get a lien on your property, or the judge can order you to sell all your assets to have money for an attorney and pay court fees. In California, the richest spouse settles the bill for both parties. If you think this is far-fetched, just ask poor Elon.
CNBC was rerunning their divorce special.
Stage 4. Okay, now let's get the kids involved. To lawyers, this is called leverage. In America, the Constitution states that parents have equal rights to see their child, but the family court trumps this with the Best Interest Act. This act allows scrutiny in all aspects of parenting. The judge decides it, and not a jury of your peers, because we all know that in family court there is no jury. Now, at this juncture, the court will introduce an evaluator. An evaluator's job is to interview the family and friends to see how fit of a parent you are. Some evaluations are visual exams from abstract pictures that can lead people to believe that you're an unfit parent. They can say you're full of rage for picking a bat rather than a butterfly, based on the photo they present to you.
And showing you a bunch of ink blots. What's this look like? What do you see in here? And then scoring you for narcissism or...
On the other hand, you will have to pay these evaluators by a court order. And the fees might range from $35,000 to $10,000. Last but not least, some law firms may have these evaluators in their back pockets. So if you're lucky, the scales might start tipping towards your side.
It's known within the industry that certain firms have certain custody evaluators in their back pocket.
Stage 5. I call this stage the aftermath. And it can end in different ways. 1, you can lose everything and live a life of misery, where they take your kids and you end up working at a Subway as a 72-year-old man still questioning a 30-year-old case. 2, you could kill yourself or get into a shootout at a courthouse like this guy.
Strike out. All the shootings you hear about, it's always a divorce.
3, you could paint the judge handling your case in a bad light on social media. As you exercise your freedom of speech, this might end up getting you threatened, or you can end up in jail for 5 years like Dan Brewington from Indiana. Well, that's marriage and divorce in a nutshell. Just remember, in all cases of marriage and divorce, there has to be a loser at the end of the day. And in most cases, the guy gets the raw end of the stick. So if Will and Jada were to take this route, these are some of the things that they will have to go through. And since they live in California, we all know who's paying. Okay, that's it for me today. Check out Divorce Corp if you want more information. Stay hungry. Until next time, remember to keep trekking.